Continuing on with updating you guys on what I'm working on, some new watercolor illustration that I hope you enjoy, and my issue with growing food in Florida. Hey, welcome back. This is Cetriya, Cetriya. I hope you folks are holding on well. I hope you guys are, keeping yourselves occupied and, doing some new projects. Throughout this video, I'll be sharing or recording or showing you guys my watercolor painting, and I'm using the Korean Mission Gold watercolor set. So if you are curious, I did a quick little overview or first impressions of the watercolors, and I will link that in a video here. And also, I just have a couple of, like a bag of old watercolor inks that I got from the Goodwill or Salvation Army, basically the thrift store. Quite a number of them were empty or really dried out, so I'll definitely be checking to see if there isn't more of them that are salvageable. That I can't talk right now. Let's just say I've had a long day. So anyways, how are you guys doing? Hope you guys are doing well. So while I show you guys this illustration of mine, I will say that it was definitely feeling almost I don't know how to describe it. It's not nostalgic. It's almost that weird sense of not fear or apprehension, but just a sense of, is this what I used to do? Almost like trying to relearn how to ride a bicycle. You don't exactly forget everything, but you just got that weird sense of weirdness or uncanny valley where you should know something, but it's still awkward. So going through this, at first I was kind of awkward about it, and it was a 3-day period. At first I did the sketch illustration, then I scanned it, then I printed it, enlarged it and printed out, and then I traced over it onto the watercolor paper. So right now you're seeing the fun part where I am coloring, and I will say that part of the reason why I have my markers up for sale, and I may be selling more of them, is that every time I touch watercolor, I just find that medium speaks to me a bit more so, and I'd like to expand on my watercolor with mixing in some color pencils to see how that go. But this could just be me not using markers as much as I used to, and just finding that I love the mixing of the colors and the transitions. As you can see, I can easily go from like a yellow green to a pale green to more of a blue green, and adding in a couple of darker tones. But more than anything, eventually I think I will show you just how little of the watercolors that I had used in order to make this full illustration. And at the end of the day, no matter how cheap the markers are, you just cannot compare. And the Korean Mission Gold watercolors, and I think there's a Japanese Gambino or I don't know, but there's a Japanese watercolor set that's also very affordable, and I've seen very beautiful artwork being made by them. That at the end of the day, I think watercolors just serves you a bit more bang for your buck. And I know at first it might be weird because you might feel like you can't really control it, but at the same time it gives you so much more flexibility that than markers can do. Even though there's beautiful artwork with markers, don't get me wrong, it's just there's just something a little bit more relaxing and forgiving and freeing working in watercolors versus working in the markers, where you kind of have to really work pretty quickly and you have to have it planned out and everything, and then it costs you quite a bit to use up so much of the ink. So all in all, I was just enjoying this illustration. As I promised, I'm trying to be that crazy plant lady. However, I'm finding it very much that there's a reason why most people prefer to just do decorative plants versus edible plants. And here I'm gonna go ahead and just like cut into a shot of me going through my garden. So I've got my seedlings coming up. A few of them have died from the heat, or just me testing things out. Of course, right now I think the United States anyways, is going through a period where they're limiting the sales of seeds because there was such a massive rush of people trying to get seeds, and like the big commercial farmers are having difficulty finding seeds. So now I'm just being a little bit less carefree with me sowing my seeds and just like testing it out on 2 or 3 at a time, where before I'd be like throw a dozen and see what happens. So dealing with a lot of the bugs, like suddenly my radishes were taken over, even though my potatoes, my sweet potatoes, and it's mostly the Asian sweet potatoes because I don't really like the American sweet potatoes, or the the traditional southern yellow sweet potatoes. I prefer the Japanese purple sweet potatoes, and the Asian or the Korean like red skin but white flesh sweet potatoes, the one that you see a lot in anime and in drama, where they like bake it and then just eat it like that, like those kind of sweet potatoes. But yeah, I'll be working on that, and I have other things like tomatoes and cucumbers, and we shall see how that goes. But I think I really need to take my time in dealing with like ants and slugs and other worms, and I might just let's just say trying to grow food was such an eye-opener for me for a lot of reasons, and I think I'm gonna really have to sit down and read some books on this, because just a couple of videos doesn't work, especially if you live in Florida. Yay, Florida. Anyhow, let's going back into the illustration here. First off, yes, I kind of look like her. It's pretty much kind of like a self-portrait. I don't know why I have her, holding onto a popsicle, but I'm just trying to get back into drawing and just enjoying a drawing, and self illustrations are probably the easiest. I'm almost always, especially nowadays, are in some kind of legging lounge wear, where I could go from doing a couple of stretches and exercise and then going straight into the garden and then coming back inside the house and clean. I just love my leggings, okay? Love them. And being in Florida already this hot, I'm always in my sandals. I will say I'm not this thin though, although depending on the angle, and it maybe with a little bit of photoshopping, I could be that thin. I think I could swing that. I could swing that waist. But but honestly, I'm pretty body positive of myself, but I always feel like I could lose like another 10 or 15 pounds. And if you watch a couple of my videos, I always talk about losing another 10 or 15 pounds, which I think I've lost about 5 pounds now, because I've gone back to eating less and then eating within a smaller limit time. That doesn't mean I don't eat like cheat. Like I still buy me my candies and stuff like that, and drink my beers and wines and stuff. It's just I try to do less of it, or skip a day from treating myself, and just basically try to eat a little less and then move around a lot more. So let's go into a little bit of a life topic. Yeah, this quarantine thing. I know that YouTube, now that I said the word, is probably gonna like perk up and be like, you gotta restrict the video, except I don't have that many subscribers for them to need to restrict my video. But I know in previous videos I say I'm not bored or anything, and I personally am not. However, I feel like me saying it that way, and I know a lot of us introverts are kind of rejoicing, even though it's like a bittersweet moment. Like you're happy that you finally could just stay home and not be bothered with people and have a reason not to interact them for a long period of time. But at the same time, the way in which this had happened has definitely dampened our spirits. And for me, I thought the way I kind of stated that might have been a little bit insensitive. So sorry if anyone felt that me being overly too rejoiced and being at home by myself was a bit like that, because now, I already saw this affecting people at the very first week, because to me it's like it's 1 week. At the very first week, I was really surprised and shocked on how many people were having like parties and stuff. And just either this morning or yesterday, I read the news that the county, the city right next to us, which is not that far, it's like 15 minutes away, was like, we need to do a curfew between 11 and 5 a.m. because they got complaints of people doing block parties and renting out facilities like rental homes and renting out facilities to party in during this supposed quarantine. And I'm sure you guys have heard the news about Florida and the whole quarantine bit thing, but that did kind of get to me, because now all of a sudden the time that I would normally try to sleep to keep to a normal sleeping schedule is being thoroughly messed up. And for the first week I was like, this makes zero sense. Like, it's, just, you could go home and enjoy your family there for the first week or two. Like, it's not like everyone's by themselves completely and utterly isolated. Just enjoy. And it's not even like a full shutdown like in New York. Enjoy your time. It made no sense to me. Now I'm in the third week, however, and people who would normally be okay with longer periods of times of isolation or being, with just a small amount family unit, I can see where it's really taking a toll on them, and like people are having legit cabin fever. And part of the thing that made me not really consider is the fact that I actually have a backyard, and I actually have my cat. She always wants to be on this thing for some reason. What is it, Leah? Ow. But yeah, well, one, I have a pet. I have a cat who has a lot of personalities. Do you want to see her? She's not, I mean, she's cute, but she is very fresh. She has a bit of an attitude, and she's quite a biter. But yeah, I have a backyard. I just now mowed half of the lawn and have to mow the other half because it's extremely hot, and finally watered my poor plants that were like drooping, saying, oh my god, I'm dying of thirst, please help me. So I've done that. I need to trim some of them back because they're kind of like being kind of windy and spindly. But yeah, I have a backyard and I have a full house to run around in. I have, my meals, and the other day my brother asked me what I was watching. Was I watching anime? And I was like, no. Or, TV dramas or whatever. It's like, no, actually. My time has been filled with watching a lot of YouTube videos on how to take care of the home, how to properly clean the home, how to fix things. A lot of like the home builder channels and Home Depot and Lowe's are like, here's a little project that you could work on during the summer. So things like how to fix your doorknob, how to clean your vent, how to make a gardening box, like all these little things that I got more than enough projects to work on that honestly I might need like another month from work. But I will say, considering, financial reasons, I would appreciate going back to work. There's been a lot of things, and that's another thing for work. And I don't want this to be dark while I'm painting such a lovely, luscious picture. And I will say I am loving how this color is coming out. Like, I really do. I really do love the Mission Gold. This is not sponsored because look at my channel subscription. Like, I got less than 2,000 people at the posting of this, but like the colors are coming out lush, and it's drying really relatively fast enough for me to work over it. But also you could lift it up back, and the paper. Oh, I didn't say what kind of paper I was using. I'm just using like a regular Canson watercolor sketchbook that they got. So there's not a lot of grain or paper texture on it, so I think it's like it's not smooth like hot press per se, but it's pretty flat. But yeah, for financial reasons, but at the same time there is general concern that to suddenly all of us go en masse going back to work, I kid you not, I probably would still act like I'm in semi isolation if I went back to work. Okay. You know what? I'll show you a photo later about my cat. Right? Oh, wait, no. I think I could. Give me a second. All right, we're back. So as you can see, here's my cat. I just did a quick insert of the clip while I was recording this audio. But yeah, she's sweet. She's playful. She definitely likes attention. But anyways, I have gone quite a bit on this chat. Have I not? So last bit that I would like to share with you guys is I've been reading these two books, Ink Spots and Save the Cat, and these two books are a mix of writing novels and screenwriting. And part of the reason why I took a break from working on comics was I just really had to accept the fact that my stories were not strong enough. And at the end of the day, my art is at a level where definitely is not pro, it's not pro at all, general. But it's at a level where it's enough to tell a story, but I need to actually have a story to tell. So that is what I'm going to be reading and working on. And let's see, what else? I am definitely taking some Skillshare classes because there's been quite a bit of classes that's been updated. Like Skillshare has upped their game, but they also charge twice as much per month unless you buy the yearly subscription. But honestly, you know, this 30 days is more than enough for now. So that way when I get back to work, I become even more of an asset for my company. That one that I said that I was thinking of leaving, well, not in this situation. But yes, I am more and more appreciated for the little things, for the small things, for the quiet things. I know a lot of people are going through quite a bit. Even my own personal friends and family, I was just informed, are going through quite a bit, or they themselves have it. And you might be wondering how am I like laughing and giggling. They're close. I'm just a weird person, okay? I'm the type of person where I'm just weird. Anyways, that went into a weird place. Anyways, yeah, I'm okay. My parents are okay for now. My close friends are okay. My close family are okay. I call and check on them. I hope you guys are calling and checking on yours too. And we shall see what comes of all this. For those of you who are spiritual, keep in your prayers. I'm definitely keeping in mind. I know a lot of people tend to turn a little bit more towards spiritual activities when such things happen, though I do hope that if you are a believer, that you should actually continue on your personal growth and study when times are also good and not just when times are bad, because it's really hard to get information into your head when you're panicking, and that goes for other non-spiritual things too. So just try to keep healthy as best as you can, okay? I don't want you guys getting too stir crazy about this. And keeping yourself healthy, keep to a good regular sleeping schedule, and keep to a good eating habit. I've heard of people gaining quite a bit of weight while I'm losing weight, and you could eat more stuff, just eat more of the good stuff. Don't just stress eating cookies and crackers. And if you are feeling stress eating, I suggest gum. Gum was always one of the biggest thing. I was a very big gum addict. But yeah, I think that's a lot about me. Okay, yeah. All right, this is the end of the video. Hope you enjoy it. Hope you like the end of the piece. Love you all the best. Laters.